Hi, welcome back. Great to have you. L. Rushmore, Cutting Edge Societal Evolution. In addition to the union activity that Trump has scored major points with, Trans-Pacific Partnership withdrawal, you've got these labor leaders, many of whom we have been at odds with all of our lives. Many of these labor leaders, they've been in bed with the Democrat Party. They've been raising money for the Democrat Party. They've been funding the Democrat Party. And now they are in love with Trump as of today. They've described the meeting with Trump as incredible. Do you remember how the George W. Bush administration, remember that push for comprehensive immigration reform? And I've mentioned that on a couple of occasions, emissaries from the White House were dispatched down here to get my mind right on it. I never was in favor of it. And one of the things they told me in trying to convince me to support it was, this is how we're going to destroy the Democrat Party. If we can own the immigration issue, we can own the Hispanic population, we can wipe the Democrat Party out. Now, isn't it fascinating to me and to you that here's Donald Trump actually doing it, but not with immigration. In fact, he's going to do it with immigration too, but the way Donald Trump's blowing up the Democrat Party is to take away an even bigger constituency than Hispanics. He's on the verge of co-opting labor, white working class people. The Democrat Party has decided they want no part of it anymore. And here's Trump sweeping them up. And if this becomes permanent, and if Trump follows through on redoing these trade deals and canceling others, and cements this attachment of big labor to his administration, I don't care whether they're signing on with Republicans or not. The point is they're abandoning Democrats. And the Democrat Party has always been a coalition of constituency groups that have a couple of things in common, but no more than a couple. You've had the feminists, you've had African Americans, you've had this minority, that minority, you've had big labor. The one thing they had in common was love of big government and hatred of conservatism. And the Democrats throwing them away is a relevant step in Trump swooping them up. Trump is swooping them up with policy. The Republicans aren't. This is a key point to make, and I think a lot of people, Trump, ran as a Republican, but these people are joining Trump. And it's going to be fascinating to watch this all play out. And I don't think the Democrats are aware of what's happening to them. They obviously aren't. And now the latest, this morning, about 11 o'clock, Trump signed executive orders advancing the Keystone and Dakota pipelines. Those are two pipelines that Obama and the Democrats had stopped. And the reason they did was not climate change. It wasn't to protect the environment. Don't fall for any of that. Warren Buffett owns the trains. And it's the trains transporting the oil when you don't have a pipeline. So Warren Buffett was opposed to the pipelines, and Obama loved an association with Warren Buffett and Warren Buffett's money. And he also was able, and Hillary too, able to scoop up environmentalist wacko money by denying the construction of the pipelines. But the left's objection to these pipelines has nothing to do with the environment, folks. Literally nothing to do, because pipelines are imminently safer than trains and over-the-road trucks. Imminently safer. Accidents or what have you. And by the way, the Dakota pipeline does not traverse 1 inch of sacred Indian ground. That's another lie that's been told. The reason the environmentalist wackos oppose these pipelines has everything to do with capitalism. They don't want anything built that powers a free market economy. They want government in charge of as much as they can secure. And they want the government being anti-capitalist and socialist, pro-socialist. And this is the primary. And they shrouded their opposition to this in environmental terms to scoop up gullible voters like millennials and others who've been made to believe that the planet's not going to be habitable by the time they reach 65 because of climate change. It was a giant, giant snooker that Hillary and Obama and the Democrats were engaged in. Keystone protests are not about the transmission of oil or fossil fuel. It's all about anti-capitalism. Here's Trump, by the way, at the White House. This is late yesterday afternoon, with union leaders applauding Trump for terminating the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
This is a group that I know well, whether personally or just because I've hired thousands and thousands and thousands of you. We just officially terminated TPP. And just signed a document, very powerful document. And we're going to have trade, but we're going to have one-on-one. And if somebody misbehaves, we're going to send them a letter of termination, 30 days, and they'll either straighten it out or we're gone. Not one of these deals where you can't get out of them and it's a disaster. So we're going to have plenty of trade. But TPP wasn't the right way.
And here's Trump to the union leaders after all this, telling them that he's going to bring jobs back to the United States.
We're going to put a lot of people back to work. We're going to use common sense, and we're going to do it the way it's supposed to be done. We're going to stop the ridiculous trade deals that are taking everybody out of our country and taking companies out of our country. And it's going to be reversed. I think you're going to have a lot of companies come back to our country. Okay. Companies that left.
Stop the tape. We've all heard Trump say that stuff. Here is Sean McGarvey, who is North America's Building Trades Union president, speaking to the media about the meeting with Trump.
We just had probably the most incredible meeting of our careers with the president and the vice president and the senior staff when the president laid out his plans about how he's going to handle trade, how he's going to invest in our infrastructure, and how he's going to level the playing field for construction workers and all Americans across this country. And then took the time to take everyone into the Oval Office and show them the seat of power in the world. The respect that the President of the United States just showed us. And when he shows it to us, he shows it to 3 million of our members in the United States. Was nothing short of incredible. And we will work with him and his administration.
I want you to imagine. I will get into, look, I know, there's stuff to be said about this. But for the moment, I want you to imagine you're Obama. And you're wherever you are. And you're sitting there, and every hour you watch your agenda shredded. And then you hear your former donors and people that loved you praise Trump the way they never praised you. It's got to be really hard.